I warmly welcome Mr. Manoj Purohit for the current session. So now may I request my colleague in the Mechanical Engineering Department, Dr. Babu Reddy, to speak a few words about Mr. Manoj Purohit. Over to Dr. Reddy.
Everyone, I'm happy to read the brief profile of Manoj Govind Purohit sir, and he was born in 1916 and is a proud Indian and native of Nanded in Maharashtra, and now presently is in Pune, working in the field of self-development. He has taken many initiatives that includes GRES, the Computer Institute for Solution of the Software and Hardwares, and he's been in this business for last 29 years, and he has taken many initiatives. One of the famous initiatives is a Great Achiever Center, which works in the field of self-development, and it is working for the last 10 years with a very good track record. And he was very instrumental in the starting up an Art of Living Center in Bal Mandir, Nanded. And he was instrumental in the Save Mother Earth movement also. And he's basically academically has got a science, a BSc graduate in computer science and a PG in business administration. In addition, he also has a diploma in labor laws. As a part of certification, is so many computer certification. I just read one or two: Microsoft Certified System Engineer, and then Red Hat certification, Neuro-linguistic Practitioner, Voiceover Artist, VOA, and many other. I'll just cut it down due to shortage of time. Professor Manoj is in business for last 29 years and is working continuously in the field of self-development, consultation, guidance, and motivation. And as a motivational speaker, he specializes in many subjects like art of living, art of parenting, art of teacher parenting, stress management, time management, and many more other things. In fact, his reach is so vast that almost 1 lakh students, entrepreneurs, parents, professionals have benefited from his programs. And one of the important aspects he highlights is he's a teacher for the world-renowned course of Art of Living, the Happiness Program since 2010. And he has written wonderful books, and I'll read a couple of them now. Some of them have already been published and some are in the pipeline. One such is Life is Echo, Effective Parenting in Competitive World, Happy Married Life, Improve Your Presentation Styles, Effective Time Management, Mantra and Japa Shakti, Mudra Pranayama and Stress Management, and many more. As the speaker has already taken a section, I'll just cut down his very vast profile. Thank you very much. Over to Manoj sir.
For that presentation, that profile information about me. Am I audible to all?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So good morning all. Thank you very much for joining for this wonderful session. But before I begin, I must thank organizer for giving me this opportunity to share the little knowledge that I have. I especially want to thank Shambhu sir and his entire team for organizing this wonderful faculty development program. Actually, I took this privilege to attend almost all sessions. Almost all sessions I have attended. And trust me, this is one of the finest faculty development program I have ever attended. So it was very nicely organized, nicely built. Even the contents were wonderful. So I thank all the organizers for even giving me an opportunity. Now, before I actually begin with my session, let us all become on the same page. Let us all come on the same page. And how do we come on the same page? As we did in our one of last session, that we start the session with Makar. So let us all chant 3 times Makar. Let's take a deep breath in and then let's chant as long as we can, so that we settle down in the present moment, we settle down in the session. So let us close our eyes. Let's take a deep breath in. One more deep breath in. Have one more deep breath in. Slowly, with a wonderful smile on your face, slowly open your eyes. So, here are we with another wonderful session on enhancing life with Inca skills. By this time, you may have started wondering what is this Inca skill is all about. Trust me, by end of this session, you will realize that what we did in the past 5 days is somewhere somehow related with the Inca skills. But what are the Inca skills? Let's understand. Let me go to my presentation so that we all can see it. And so window, and here is my presentation. Fine. Are you able to see this presentation? Shambhu sir, are you able to see the presentation? Okay, fine. So let's move further. So let's understand, how do we enhance our life with Inca skills? As I told a few minutes back, you may be wondering, or since the day you have got the invitation, you have enrolled yourself, you have registered yourself, you might be wondering, what is this Inca skills about? What are these Inca skills? So let's understand, what do we mean by Inca skills? Well, the word or the short form Inca over here has been derived from two different words, where the in stands for inner and CA stands for capability. So in from inner and CA from capability, both of them makes the short form that we have derived, that is Inca. And entire this session we will be working on what are our inner capabilities and how we are going to enhance our life based on our inner capability. So this will be an exciting journey. We will be going back to a few parts of your childhood, and then we'll be coming back. We will be relating our childhood with our present age, and then we will understand so many different things about all these Inca skills. But before we actually proceed, let us understand, what do we mean by these words: capacity, capability, or maybe the strength. We usually use these 3-4 words interchangeably. Inner capacity, inner capability, inner strength, or inner self. These are some of the words in day-to-day conversations, communication, we use interchangeably. So let's understand what these terms difference. They have got a small difference between them. When we talk about a capacity is the ability that exists in a person. Ability that exists in a person means I am comfortable playing cricket, but that does not mean I am as optimistic as Sachin Tendulkar is. I am able to play good cricket. That necessarily does not mean that I am capable of playing like the Virat Kohli plays. Because to get to the state of Virat Kohli, to get to the state of Sachin Tendulkar, or to get to the stage of the status of the abilities or the strength of that particular person, that particular icon, I am supposed to be get trained under right, tougher and challenging conditions. Now this is very important. Capability refers to the higher level of ability. Capacity is ability that exists in every person. Whereas capability refers to the higher level of ability that can be groomed, that can be demonstrated, that can be even trained under the right, tougher, challenging conditions. That means I can run a marathon. If I get an opportunity to run a marathon, I may finish the marathon in, let's say, 5 hours. But if I have been trained properly, if I have been put into those conditions, if I have been trained accordingly, I might finish the marathon in 3 hours also. Now, running a marathon in normal course, I can call a capacity. But running the same marathon to win it, or at least to be a competent, at least to be a competitive in it, we call it as capability. While strength is the quality of being strong, how strongly you are going to put up your capability in those conditions. These three words, capacity, capability, and strength, we often use interchangeably in our day-to-day conversations, in our day-to-day talk. But interesting thing is, before we move further, let's understand our world. Let's understand our world. Please observe this image. Please observe this image and tell me what you are observing in this image. What are that you are noticing from this image? You can type in your responses in the chat box. What are the things that you are observing? What are the things that you are noticing in this image? You may type your responses in the chat box. I'm waiting for your responses. One thing is very clear from this image that, yes, thank you, Mr. P. Ramesh Babu, thanks a lot. He says his focus goes on the inner world, and then the image shows outer world also, the image shows inner world also. But if you carefully observe, you still can see something different. Okay, in left side oval, we see all words, but in right side oval letters are missing. Okay, image of sun in the sea, fantastic, fine. Okay, Ritu Gupta, I will be pointing on this in latter part of the session. Definitely I will be going to point out about this. Okay, outer world always highlight more. Fantastic. Vijita ji, wonderful. Dalimi says more focus on outer cells. True, that's fine. Thank you. Sunrise, okay. Selva Kumar, I will be definitely taking reference of your answer over here. Hold on, I need to note some of the names. And okay, fine. Then Bharat Chau says interconnection of outer world and inner world. Fine, thank you. Thanks a lot. All of you, thanks a lot for your comments. Carefully observe these two words. As a few of you rightly pointed out, our outer world is the world that usually we focus on. Some of you pointed out that the words written with the inner world are very faint, they are not readable. Let's see, let's observe, let's move further. Now let's understand what is the outer world. When we talk about outer world, the outer world can be seen from two different perspectives. Outer world can be seen from the perspective of others, and outer world can be seen from the perspective of ours. From others' perspective, my outer world will be the way they see me, the way they judge me, the way you are perceiving me, or the way you are connecting with me, and the way you appreciate my good deeds or you criticize my bad deeds or whatever. Whereas when I look at my own outer world, I can say the way I present myself is my own outer world. It may be my hairstyle, it may be the dressing that I am carrying, it may be my friend circle. See, one's friend circle reflects his personality. So that forms our outer world, that forms our outer circle. then the expressions that I do, the way I express myself, and the reactions that I give on others' actions. All these forms our outer world. Our outer world is driven by circumstances. Outer world is driven by environment. But when it comes to the inner world, let's now go to inner world. Our inner world is different than the outer world. If you look at inner world, our inner world is built of so many beautiful things. Our inner world is based on our inner world has got beautiful ingredients. It is based on our feelings, the values that we carry throughout our life, the beliefs with which we have been born and brought up, the thoughts with which we live our day-to-day life, the desires that we carry in within, the intuitions that we hold, that we think, that we believe, that we visualize, the emotions that we carry, the emotions that we either express or do not express. When we talk about emotions, emotions come from within, but they are expressed here through certain reactions, they are expressed through certain expressions. So this is what the emotions is. But the emotions start from within. Personality of a person, how he behaves in the outer world actually starts from within. The fantasies that we carry, fantasies related to any subject in the world, any subject that comes to my mind, they start from within. The spirituality aspect, whether you are believer, whether you are not believer, you are follower of some path, you are believer of some path, whatever it may be, the spirituality aspect also starts from within. Interesting thing is, the purpose of life starts from within. When we say the purpose of life starts from within, I remember quote of APJ Abdul Kalam. I read his quote once. He said, "A man takes birth twice. First is his biological birth, and the second birth is the day he realized the purpose of his birth." So these are the two different births, biological and the day he realized what is purpose of his life. That purpose lies in our inner world. Maybe we have already explored to it, maybe we have not explored to it, maybe we are yet to know what is purpose of my life. But yes, the purpose lies within. Apart from these things, honesty that someone carries, integrity that someone carries, the helpfulness, the courteousness, the friendship, the compassion, the love someone carries, all these are ingredients of our inner world. So our inner world carries more than what our outer world carries. Our outer world only carries such things that are visible to others, or that I just want to show to others, or that I just want to extend to others, or that I just want to react to others, or that I want to show others to see how am I. Whereas my inner world carries so many things that sometimes we ourselves does not believe I have those many things with me. Now, when you look at all these things, you will come to know that the real face of one's being, is our inner world. Aspects of personality that are known to me are usually not being worked upon. All these aspects that we just discussed, intuitions, emotions, personality, fantasies, feelings, values, beliefs, spirituality, beliefs, thoughts, desires, purpose, some of these we constantly keep on working. Some of these we missed in our day-to-day life, the tasks that we carry, the busyness that we have. But then comes another question to my mind, that why is this INCA so important in life? Why are these inner capability so important in life? Please go through few pictures that I'm going to show you now. Observe all these pictures. It may be Mahatma Gandhi or Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose or Veer Damodar Savarkar, or it may be Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar, it may be Mahatma Jyotiba Phule, it may be Savitribai Phule, maybe Ahilya Devi Holkar or Baba Amte or Mother Teresa. If we start feeling all these are historical figures who have shaped this country, who have shaped our society, who have shaped this civilization. Let's come to the latter photos. Observe these photos. APJ Abdul Kalam, Dhirubhai Ambani, Steve Jobs, Narayan Murthy, maybe Amitabh Bachchan, Sachin Tendulkar, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar ji, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, even people like Bill Gates. So if you look at these pictures, and if you think about inner capability, what is that comes to your mind? I request you kindly answer it in the chat box. When you look at all these pictures, all these people who have definitely impacted our life quite a lot by and large, what do you think about these people? What do you think about all these iconic faces? What is that APJ Abdul Kalam or Dhirubhai Ambani or maybe Steve Jobs? Just look at all these iconic faces and let me know what you see, what you observe about all of them. One thing is very clear. One thing is very clear. Let me see if I've got any response. Okay, I will continue. When we look at all these iconic figures, one thing is very certain. All these iconic personalities have shaped our social life, have impacted our social life, have impacted the civilization that has never been impacted there before. That is just because every one of them, look at that, though every one of them has got a humble beginning, they have impacted the entire civilization by their good deeds. They have impacted our society by their good deeds. Now, what made them impact the civilization? What made them impact the entire society is the inner capabilities. Inner capabilities takes a man from commonness to uncommonness. Inner capability makes a man from average man to a very stronger personality, and that's what we can observe from all these iconic figures. I know there are so many iconic figures in our society, but I have selected few. Now, I want to show one very wonderful statement. It says champions are not made in the gyms. Probably by the time I will read the entire statement, you will come to know who has said this. He says champions are not made in the gyms. Champions are made from something they have deep inside them. Champions are made from something they have deep inside them. And what is that deep inside them? It's a desire, it's a dream, and it's a vision. This is the famous statement from Muhammad Ali, all-time great boxer. He always used to say, I win the match twice. The first time I win the match, I win it in my mind. Next time when I actually get into my boxer ring, it is mere a formality to win the match. That's why he says champions are made from something they have deep inside, a desire to win, a dream to achieve, and a vision to work upon, a vision to work for. But the thing that comes to my mind, a question that comes to my mind is, what is that fuels that desire? What is that fuels the dream? And what is that fuels the vision? And trust me, something that fuels the desire, something that fuels the dream, something that fuels the vision is nothing but Inca skill. The inner capability of them, they drives them through, they makes them winner, they makes them reach to the highest ability mankind has ever reached. Having discussed all these things, let's go to your childhood. Let's go to childhood. Now, let's see. Now, as we go to childhood, look at this picture that I'm going to show you now. Look at this picture. and tell me what are qualities of a child. You can write your answers in the response box. You can write your answers in chat box. What are qualities of a child? Innocence. Wow, thank you. Innocence. I got two answers. Whenever we think about a child, the first thing that comes to our mind is innocence, right? Curiosity, fantastic. Fearlessness, okay, great. Creativity, right, absolutely right. Imitate elders, correct. Then inquisitive, right? Enthusiastic, okay. Imagination, honesty. Honesty is one of the beautiful aspect of a child. Okay. Happy for nothing. Sibalata Mohanty sir, thank you. But I was looking for this. Happy for nothing. We have listed a few qualities of a child. So let's go back. Let's go back. I will show you a list that I have prepared. I have prepared either or two of what you have just shared. I might be missing it from that presentation, but I am very sure that I will be adding those 2-3 things into my presentation next time. So let's go back. So let's understand what are the qualities of a child. Observe here. Qualities of a child are something like this. And if you have a child in your home, please try to relate these qualities with your child. As I'm observing this entire FDP since last 5 days, I understand that we have a few of participants who might be grandfathers, grandmothers. So it's okay. You can observe all these qualities into the children that you have in your family. So what are all these qualities? The first quality is being dynamic. Children are always dynamic. We see their dynamism in everything that they do. Then cherishing life. They cherish their life as nobody can do. Because they are fresh born, they want to explore life, so they keep on cherishing their life. They are happy without conditions. Happy without conditions means what? They don't need anything, any materialistic thing to be happy. And then they are affectionate. They get connected with anybody. Forgetfulness. If you scold a child right now, maybe after 5 minutes, 7 minutes of time, he might have forgotten that. And he again starts mingling with you. So that is the beauty of a child. Living in the present moment. Living in the present moment is what? Living in the present moment is, if you look at a child, let's say he needs a chocolate, or let's say he needs a pen. Forget pen. Let's say there is a chocolate in my hand, and he needs this chocolate. He never tells you that, Papa, you gave the chocolate to me yesterday. Or he will never tell you that, Papa, I need a chocolate tomorrow. He will tell you, Papa, I need the chocolate. When? Right now. He lives in the present moment. He don't know about what has been past. He don't remember what has been past. He don't bother about what is going to come tomorrow. He lives in the present moment. Smile is perhaps the best aspect of a child. Your entire tired full day you forget when you look at smile of a child. Children are grateful to others. They are grateful to everybody they come in contact with you. If you visit your friend's home and he has got a small child, you carry one small chocolate or one small Cadbury to his home, trust me, the child will run and will tell that you have brought the Cadbury to tens of the people in the family. So that's how they are grateful for. Here I just want to take your attention to one interesting thing. Gratefulness is an ability that starts from inside. Of course, all of them are starting from inside, but gratefulness is something that we can extend to others also. When I show my gratefulness towards you, you also start believing that you are great from inside, and again you become grateful. This is how the chain continues. Children are very religious. They don't bother about the fire that is in front of them. They don't bother about the snake in front of them. They don't bother about even the electric shock. But yes, once they have an experience of it, once they had an experience of fire, once they had an experience of electric shock, they might thereafter start avoiding it. But yeah, they are courageous enough to go and touch, handle the stake. They are courageous enough to go and get something from the fire. They are comfortable in all situations. You put them into every condition, they are comfortable from. Learning attitude of a child is beyond an ability or capability of a grown ones. Their learning attitude is such that despite being failures, they keep on trying. That's what the next quality is. Let's say a child is learning and he wants to climb a sofa set. So he will try tens of time, hundreds of time to climb the sofa set, and finally he does it. So despite being failure so many number of times, he will keep on trying to climb the sofa. Now interesting thing is, after he climbs, then he tries to fall down from the sofa. Actually he wants to come down from the sofa, but he tries to jump from the sofa, and in that process he may fall down. One more quality of a child is having faith and trust. Having faith on whoever he comes in contact with. Having trust on everybody and anybody he is going with. They are very cheerful. From morning to evening, they are cheerful. They are very imaginative. You ask a child, this is interesting. You ask a child to draw. You ask a child to draw a plane. What they will do, they will scribble something like this, and they will show you, this is my plane. You will try to find out the shape of the plane in this. But child doesn't bother about it. He says, this is my plane. You say, plane is my cloud, not like this, plane is something like this, having some shape, something like this. No. That's what the child believes, because they are so imaginative. They find anything in everything, and they find everything in anything. They are very curious. They want to explore the world. The number of neurons within them are multiple. So they just want to fill the neurons with the information. So they are very curious. They are very intelligent. They are perhaps sometimes more intelligent than us. I'm not sure whether this incident that I'm going to share is there in the history or not, but I remember once I read somewhere, Hitler used to take help of children. Whenever Hitler gets into the problem, again I say, I'm not very sure if this incident is true or not, but I have read it somewhere on the internet itself. Whenever Hitler gets into the problem, to come out of those problems, come out of the war-like situations, the very difficult situations, he used to take help of the children, because they are very intelligent. They are very imaginative. They think about a situation. They give you some weird ideas. They give you some weird ways to get out of those situations. But that's what I read somewhere on the internet. They are very fearless, that I have already told you, with reference to courageousness. Then their sociability. You take your child with you in the society, they make themselves comfortable into the sociability. They will talk to people, they will smile at the people. I remember Mr. Sheshadri was conducting the talk on the very first day, and he was telling, smile a lot, and at the same time he made a sentence that was something like this: please do smile, even if you are grown up, please do smile, but make sure that you are not smiling it to the opposite gender. So that's how the children are social. They are social more than what all of us are. They are very obedient. Children are energetic. They are always on kind of thing. Since morning, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, they wake up till late night, 11, 12, 1 in the night. They keep on going. We running behind them, get tired, but they never get tired. They are always energetic. The reason they are always energetic is because, please understand this, they use their lungs capacity more than us. They use their lungs capacity more than us. And because they use their lungs capacity more than us, what happens? The oxygen level in the body is optimistic. And because the oxygen level in the body is optimistic, they are energetic throughout the day. By the way, these days we are quite concerned about the oxygen level in the body. We all keep on checking it with the oximeter because of the corona situation. Okay, let's continue. Another quality of a child is they are talkative. Saying early in the morning, late in the night, they go on blah 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 blah. They keep on talking because they want to express what is going on in their head. They want to explore the world. They want to learn from the world. That's why they keep on talking, keep on learning, learning. The entire process continues something like that. They are very creative. You give a child a piece of paper. Trust me, if you give a piece of paper, he can continue to play with this piece of paper for an hour. He might keep on tearing this. He might keep on tearing this for an hour. And by the time, after 1 hour, the mommy arises, she will start shouting on the child. Because everywhere in the room, you will have small pieces of paper lying down all around. The children are very creative. Their sense of humor is wonderful. Their sense of humor is wonderful. They can laugh at anything. They can laugh at any situation. Let me tell you an example. It has been studied by science that a child laughs for something like 325 times. A child laughs for around 325 times in a day. A child laughs. Knowingly, unknowingly, reasonably, not reasonably, he laughs for around 325 times a day. A child till his age of 3. As he grows, by age he grows to around 7 and 8, the amount of time the same child laughs is around 200 times. It gets reduced. As the child grows to the age of 15, 16 years, he smiles around 100 times in a day. Gradually the child grows more, he goes to college, he goes to society, he develops certain hobbies, and then the same child when grows old, gets professional around age of 20, 25, around 24, 25, 26, the same child laughs for around 20 to 30 times in a day. Again, as the child grows, by the time he reaches to age of you and me, we all need jokes to laugh. So that is what the difference between sense of humor at different ages that we all carry. Patience, look at child for the patience. Parents consistently ask child to sit at a place. Parents consistently want to mold the child the way they want it. So that's the patience. And 100%, what is that 100%? Whatever a child does, he does it 100% of his abilities. If he is eating, just look at a child when he eats 100% of it. 100% does not mean 100% of quantity. 100% means 100% of quality. He gives his entire efforts to eat whatever he is eating. So all these are qualities of a child. Let's look at 3 different cartoons. Let's look at 3 different cartoons to understand the difference between a child and an adult. Look at this image. This is childhood fear of getting lost in a crowd, whereas adulthood fear, like you and me, we might carry this fear that being lost in the Google map, being lost in the map. Many of us struggle to find out where we are in the Google map. So a child and we carry similar kind of losing fear, but the fears refers to 2 different kind of things. In the same way, childhood fear of the haircut. The moment we take a child to a barber shop, the child starts crying. And by the time we grow to this age, our adult fear is bad haircut, because we just don't want to have the latest hairstyle in the market. So we are fearing about the bad haircut the barber may give us. Then childhood fear is something like doctors with a syringe in his hand. But adult fear is the doctor's bill that the doctors might ask you to pay. So this is about the small difference between a child and an adult. Let's move further. So now we have discussed about the qualities of a child. What are the different qualities of a child? We have discussed them in depth. Now let's understand what happens to these qualities of us. If you look at this, at one corner here, if you look at this, and at one corner here, I have mentioned star over here, just like the offers in the newspaper. I have mentioned a star, and I have given the information about this star over here, and that information says conditions apply. The star means conditions apply. This is all these things. All what happens to the qualities of us in the childhood. This is not common to all. This changes according to person. This changes from person to person. So let's understand what happens to all the qualities of us. In the childhood, we were very dynamic, and as we have grown up, we started becoming static. In the childhood, we were cherishing life. Now, I'm not saying all of us, many of us have started complaining about life. In the childhood, we were happy without any conditions. Now we are conditionally happy. If this thing happens in my life, then I will be happy. If this thing happens in my life, then I will be happy. My neighbor has bought a desired car. If I get a better car than that, then I will be happy. By the time I bought a better car than desire, my neighbor brings another car, let's say a Creta. Then I look for buying a Creta highest model. Then he brings a Innova. I look for buying another Innova. So what is happening is we are tagging our happiness to the materialistic things around. If I achieve this, I will be happy. If I achieve this, I will be happy. If I get my PhD, I will be happy. If I get this accreditation, I will be happy. If I do this, I will be happy. Look at the children. Look at your childhood. You were happy without any conditions. Next, we were very affectionate when we were child. Now we have limited affectionate. We were forgetful when we were child, and now we are carrying a bag full of complaints about the people who might have given trouble you in your past. In our childhood, we used to live in the present moment. Now, having grown up, we either live in the past. On that time, on that day, I have did this, I have did that, I would have done this, I would have not done that. Or we live in the future. I will be doing this, I will be doing that, I will be making this, I will be attempting for this. Of course, I'm not saying that you need not have to plan for the future. Yes, you have to plan for the future. But please understand, don't waste your present for the future. Don't waste your present because of your past. Your past is already past. It is never going to come back again. Learn from the past. Plan for the future, but live in the present moment just like a child does. A child smiles unconditionally. But do we really smile conditionally? But do we really smile? Please ask this question to yourself. A child is courageous. What do? As we grow with our experiences. But yes, even though we grow with the experiences, what do you expect from a person who grows with his experiences? When a person grows with experiences, it is expected that he becomes more courageous. But look what happened to us. As we grown up, we are now started playing safe. Because every time we try to be courageous, being courageous reminds us about some of our failures. Being courageous reminds us about some of our past experiences, and those past experiences drive us playing safe. Children are comfortable everywhere. We have conditional comfort. We are comfortable in a group of friends. We are comfortable with certain restricted society members. We are comfortable with certain subject content matter people. So we are conditionally comforted people. Children have a winning attitude despite failures. They keep trying the things, till they succeed. But what do? We either try it once or twice or maybe thrice or maybe 4 times and then we give up. We give up because we get fed up. We give up because we have so many other things to do in the life, so we don't have enough time. That might be one of the reasons, but we give up. Having faith and trust is another thing a child carries, and we as grown up, we doubt about others. Then a child is cheerful, we take it easy. A child is imaginative, he has strong imagination, and we work in a fixed framework. A child is curious, and we are disregarded about the curiosity. We just want to be comfortable in the framework in which we are working. Because the framework in which we are working becomes our comfortable zone. The moment we try to get out of our comfort zone, discomfort starts. That discomfort brings back us to our comfort zone. Children are very curious, we are disregarded. They are intelligent, we are simple-minded or we are ignorant. They are intelligent, we are, of course, I am not doubting about your intelligences. You all are intelligences. You all are professors, PhDs, scholars. But we usually tend to restrict ourselves into simple-mindedness, the simple things that we can do, or sometimes we become ignorant. Children are fearless. We are fearful of the situation. If not, we are fearful of one of the greatest fearsome situation is what will others say if I fail? If I fail in doing an attempt to become an entrepreneur, if I do an attempt to get myself launched into public speaking industry, what if I fail? So we usually get social, we are restricted. They are very obedient. Sometimes we tend to be disobedient or we are unruly, we are untowards. Children are energetic, always on. Look at yourself. I look at myself. By the time we come back to our home at evening, we are faint, we are worn out. They are very talkative. As the age grows, we become more and more kind of silent. Children are creative. Usually we tend to uninspire. We are imitative. Some of you have pointed out that children are imitative. Yes, that is also true. But here imitative means usually whenever we want to learn something, we get it learned from someone and then we deliver it to others. Children are humorous and we are humorless, or we are having dry humor. Patience of the children are quite high in comparison to ours. Children are very grateful to all. We are unappreciative. We are ungrateful. So this is what happens to our qualities of us. We all are born with all these qualities. We all are born with all these qualities, and what happens with us is we end up having this as we grown up. And because we end up having all these things, all these, the other side of picture coming up to our life, we usually lose our control to all the inborn capabilities, capabilities that we carry since our birth, right? So why are Inca so important? Why are all these inner capabilities so important? Why are they so important? Let's continue. What you are observing here is a coin being tossed. You know, our life and the nature around is made of dualities. Our life and the nature is made of dualities. What is that duality? For an example, heads and tails. If you toss up a coin, one side of the coin is heads, other side of the coin is tail. But let's say if I toss up a coin and you won, and if you take the heads with you, leave the heads for me, you say, oh, how come is that possible? Because when I pick up the coil, heads and tails, both of them will come with me. Like night? Can you type something? You may type your answers in the chat box. Just like heads and tails, just like day and night, our life is full of dualities. If anybody is interested in typing boy and girl, right? Correct. Whether to do or not, yes. To be or not to be, that is the question. Right, correct, Srinivas sir. Okay, so let me continue with my presentation. Yes, success or failure. Thank you, Dr. Ishwarappa. Thanks a lot. Then light and dark, true. Light and dark, light and shadow. Thank you, Shivaram Gowda sir. Thanks a lot. So let me continue with my presentation. So our life and nature is made of dualities. What are dualities? Let's take some example. Heads and tail, right or wrong, light and shadow, light and dark, ups and downs, true or false, hero and villain, happy and sad, peace and conflict, pleasure and miseries, day and night, love and hatred, visible and invisible. Look at all these things. If we look at all these things, observe them, we might feel that they are opposite to each other. Heads is one side, tails is other side. Right, wrong is other side. Light is one side, dark or shadow is other side. Then up is towards one side, down is other side, true is one side, false is other side, happy is one side, sad is other side, peace is one side, conflict is other side. So if you look at these things, you will realize that they are opposite of each other. But trust me, we cannot live with one of them only. Let's assume throughout you are sad. At the end of life, you say there is no meaning in the life. Or throughout your entire life, you are happy, goody. You will not have any charm in the life. See, when the sadness comes, then only the value of happiness grows. When the conflicts come, then only the value of peace grows. Whenever miseries come, then only the value of pleasure goes. Whenever the hatred, we experience hatred in the life, the value of love grows. In the same way, we have what we call as visible and invisible things. What I see from outside is my visible self. What I see from outside is my visible self, and what is inside is my invisible self. In the same way, we have my outer world, inner world. My outer world is the world what others can see. My inner world is something that you cannot see. But yes, my outer world and inner world, both of them are equally important. I want to ask you a question. What you are observing in this screen? Kindly type your answers in the chat box. What you are observing in that screen? Root. Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot. You are observing root. Selva Kumar sir. Anybody else? What you are observing in that image? Tree and roots. Okay, roots are deep rooted. Right. Roots. Fantastic. Okay. Then root and shoot system. Correct. Shivram Gowda sir. Thank you very much. Let's go back to the presentation. So what you are observing over here is, here we have got so many roots. They are not only roots, but they are deep vent roots. We have got fruits here. We have got tree here. We have got stem over here. Okay. We have got the soil over there. We have got a farm over there. We have got the sky over there. So many things are there. Now let's understand. Roots are what? Invisible. Fruits are what? Visible. But interesting thing is, please understand, my dear friends, roots actually gives us the fruit. It's the invisible thing that is inside me that actually gives me the fruits, the visible thing outside me. This is the beauty of nature. The beauty of nature is it is full of dualities. It is full of dualities. But one does not opposes the other, one goes with the other. In the same way, here comes one that goes with the other, invisible goes with the visible, roots goes with the visible. Roots goes with the fruits. Even though we feel that roots are deep within, they are below the soil, but actually our roots are actually responsible for giving us the fruits. So invisible creates the visible. Roots creates the fruits. Roots creates the fruits, or invisible creates the visible. That means my outer world creates the outer world. That means if I wish to change the fruits that I have, if I wish to change the visible thing that I have, if I wish to change the outer of mind I have, if I wish to change the outer self that I carry, I need to work upon the roots. So if you wish to change the fruits, you need to work on the roots. If you wish to change the visible, we need to work on invisible. If we wish to change our outer world, where we need to work on our inner world. So if you came across people who say, my life is fruitless. You may have certain trees where the fruits are less. Semi-successful people. You may have trees where the fruits are sour. You may have trees who do not bear any fruit at all. So to all such friends, to all such relatives, you must tell them, my dear friend, my dear brother, my dear sister, if your trees are not giving you fruits, that means you must have to work on your roots. So let's move further. Now let's dive in for the better inner version of us. Because if we want to bring the best in us, if we want to nurture the outer world of us, if we want to nurture the outer self of us, we need to work on the inner world of us. So let's move further. Let's dive in for the better inner version of us. How many of you are ready for that? Kindly type your answer as yes in the chat box. How many of you are ready for getting the better, knowing how to groom the better inner version of us? Yes, thank you. Thanks a lot. Let's move further. Okay, thank you, Pooja. Thank you, Bharat sir. Thank you, Aruna ji. Thank you, Dr. Ishwarappa sir. Thanks a lot. Samalata ji, thank you. Okay, so let's move further. I'm going to tell you two research facts first. This research was carried at Wake Forest University, North Carolina. They say for inner motivation, for nurturing the inner self, you can do two things. One is daydreams or creative visualization. Creative visualization or daydreaming for a certain amount of time every day will help you relax your muscles, will help you calm your mind, will help you to improve your visualization, will help you improve your imagination, will help you think about a situation from different perspective, will help you to be the better inner self of you. So this is the first thing that you need to do, is do at least 5 to 10 minutes of time every day the creative visualization. The second thing that this university research from North Carolina tells us is, for inner motivation, for inner self, we need to do small. Every success must be celebrated. Celebration of success must be there in your life. Whether you achieve a small success, whether you achieve a big success, usually we tend to celebrate the bigger successes. When we tend to celebrate bigger successes, we directly or indirectly we instruct our mind that our success is only to be celebrated at bigger level. But what happens for the smaller successes? Trust me, when you start celebrating your smaller successes, gradually you make yourself energized towards the bigger successes. Gradually, you make yourself comfortable achieving small successes more faster, more better, and you are ready for bigger successes. So whether your success is a small success, whether your success is a big success, it's necessary that every success has to be celebrated. Now, because I am coming from a domain where we deal with more parents, I am parenting coach. We tell this one particular lesson, we tell this particular mantra to every parent, those who get associated with us. We tell them whether it's a small success, whether it's a big success, it's necessary that to encourage a child, even his small successes needs to be celebrated. These small successes need not mean the petty things that he does in the home. That need not be celebrated, that must be appreciated. If a child helps you in the home, it must be appreciated, it must not be celebrated. But small competition or bigger competition the child goes through, it must be celebrated. Let's move on further. Let's nurture our INCA. Let's now nurture our INCA, inner capabilities. How to nurture them? Let's understand. The first thing that you need to do is start writing diary. Not start writing diary, but highlighting specially what the achievements and the challenges defeated and obstacles overcome. This is very essential, because when you write only achievements that you have done, you will not able to recall the challenges that you have defeated or the obstacles that you have overcome. Please trust me. This is very essential for you to write the challenges defeated, how you defeated the challenge, obstacles overcame, and how you have overcome them. Because as we have discussed in this screen, sorry about that, how we were and how we are. How we were when we were a child and how we are when we have grown up. For an example, children are they are very curious, they are very imaginative, they are very creative. Now what happens as we grow up, we lose that tendency. So here, when we start writing, please understand, when we start writing the challenges that we have defeated and how we have defeated, and the obstacles that we have overcome and how we have overcome all those obstacles, it actually helps us in the future. Trust me, when we are in the difficult times, when we get caught into difficult times, our creativity, our imagination starts winding down. In those conditions, under those circumstances, the diaries that you have written, they become the energy center for you. The diaries that you have becomes inspiration for you. The fights you have fought, the challenges you have defeated, the obstacle you have overcame, they becomes inspiration from you or for you. They becomes motivation for you. They become source of inspiration. They become source of motivation for you. So it's very necessary that we must start writing diary, and especially write down your achievement. And before achievement or after writing achievement, you must write the challenges defeated and obstacle overcame. Nobody knows the diary that you have written today will become a source of inspiration for so many other people in the society. So it's very necessary that we must write diary to nurture the inner capability. Next thing that we can do to nurture our inner capabilities, let us surround ourselves with good people. Surround yourself with the people who are good for you, because good people brings good vibrations. Good people brings good experiences. Good people brings the goodness in your life. Good people brings something that stays with you forever. Please understand, bad people who come in your life, they come for a certain amount of time and then they leave you. But good people stays with you throughout your lifetime. So it's very necessary that we must equip ourselves, we must surround ourselves with good people around us. You may ask me a question here. In one of my program, a participant asked me this question, that I have put this question. This question might come to you, may not come to your mind, but I have put this question. The question is, what about the colleagues who is simply unbearable? but with whom you have to sit in the office every day. You may come across the situation. I just told you, surround yourself with the people who are good for you, right? And then this question might come to your mind that what about all colleagues to whom I cannot bear? He is unbearable to me, but I have to sit with him in the office throughout the day. Trust me, sir. If you have got such a colleague, if he is criticizing you consistently, just understand that he is contributing towards one life. He is contributing towards your life. And if the colleague is still unbearable, trust me, each one of us, I may be carrying hundreds of negative attributes. I may be carrying hundreds of negative attributes, but at least I'm carrying one positive attribute or one positive such attribute that can be nurtured so that I can also become a good person. So what you have to do is be with that person as often as you can. Even if he is not bearable to you, be with him. Trust me, you will find something good in that person. And you have to nurture that good thing in that person. Start appreciating that one good quality in that person. Even though he is not good with you, even though he is unbearable to you, trust me, after few attempts of appreciating one good quality in that person, gradually he will become the best friend of you. That's my personal experience I am sharing with you. Let's continue our journey, how to nurture inner capabilities. Affirmations blended with honest efforts do miracles. Every day when you wake up in the morning, give affirmations to yourself. Today is the day I am going to enjoy the best. Today is the day I am going to live my life to fullest, because this moment, this day, this minute, this hour, if it passes by, it is not going to come back again in my life. Because this moment, this minute, this hour, this day, if it passes from your life today, it is never going to come back again. That means whatever you want to do, however you want to do, you have to do in this present moment. Don't connect to the living in the present moment ability of a child? Yes, it connects. Next, let's nurture our inner capability by doing what? Our mind and soul needs creative breaks. This is very essential for all of us to understand. Have you seen a child, when the child is keep on playing with certain things, let's say he's playing on, keep on playing with this bottle for certain amount of time, play. Meanwhile, he keeps this bottle aside and then he takes either or 2 minutes break, he roam here and there, again he come back and then he start playing with this pet, again he'll keep on doing that thing. But what he's doing actually is, he's taking breaks in between. Our mind, our soul needs creative breaks. Let me tell you a very practical example. This example was very popular amongst the trainers of the world. This example is from the Google. Professionals who work in the Google, for Google, they have been told that after every 45 minutes of your regular task, you have to leave your desk. For every Google employee, they have got a cubicle. So they have been asked to get into the cubicle. The cubicle has every facility every luxury to relax themselves. They have been told to relax for 10 minutes, then have a cup of tea or have the snacks and again come back and again start working. But what we usually do is, we usually want to finish the task on the hand. For finishing the task on the hand, we keep on working for hours together. Now what happens, we all of us know attention span for grown-ups is not more than 40 to 45 minutes. That's why even the periods that we conduct, they are of about 40 to 45 minutes. Now as we keep on working for hours together, by the time we work for 2 hours, 3 hours, our entire energy, our mind, our soul, we literally get drained off. It's very necessary that we must take creative breaks. As we take creative breaks, we actually energize our mind, we actually energize our soul. And then when we again start working, we are starting as a fresh. Give your 100%. When we give our 100% in whatever we are doing, we don't bother about what is the outcome of not having, what is outcome of doing something. When we attempt ourselves giving our 100%, definitely trust me, we become a child. Because a child never bothers whether he succeeds or whether he fails. But what he bothers is, he bothers about giving his 100%. When a child eats, he eats from his elbow to his fingers. When a child eats, he doesn't bother whether the rice is sticking to his nose or whether the rice is sticking, whether the rice is falling on his body. He never bothers about it. What he bothers is, he bothers for giving his only 100%. Next, watch your self-talk. This is very essential. Have you seen a child talking negative about himself? You will never find a child who talks negative about himself. Children are always optimistic. They are always positive. In the same way, if we start observing our self-talk, you will probably come to know that under certain conditions, with certain people, with certain elements, you start speaking some negative language. You start using some negative words. You start showing some negative body language. If you start observing these things, if you start observing these self-talk, if you start observing your outer world, and you notice that, okay, I am going negative here, I am going negative here, I am going negative there, I am talking negative with this person, make sure that either you stay away from that person, or make sure that at least you convert your negative dialogue into some positive way. You convert your negative self-talk with positive self-talk. Here, self-talk does not mean that what you are talking to yourself. I am telling you, observe the discussions, observe the communication, observe the body language that you share with others. Knowingly or unknowingly, aren't you sharing something negative from your side? Aren't you expressing something negative with your body language? That is where you need to focus. Cut out the social comparisons. Perhaps this is the one of the most dangerous things that we all are doing to our outer self. We always keep on comparing ourselves about physical attribute, about emotional attribute, about achievements, about status in the society, about so many things. We keep on comparing ourselves. Children never compare themselves. Children only compare someone else's food with their food. Children only compare their toys with others' toys. But even that comparison is momentary. But as an grown up, our comparison is permanent. So if we succeed in cutting out to the social comparison, we can again become a child. And becoming a child is nurturing the inner capability. And this is one of the most important things. Know what you want in the life. I was standing on a crossroad in my city. A gentleman came and asked me, which area does this road leads? I told this road leads to Sidco and Hadco residency. And where does this road leads? I told him this road leads to, let's say, we all know Bangalore, or we all know Hyderabad also. So this road leads to Yashwanthpuram. Okay, fantastic. Where does this road leads? This road goes to Udaipura in Bangalore, or this road goes to, let's say, Amirpet in Hyderabad. And to where does this road leads? This road leads to, let's say, some different area. I told name of all the roads that crossroad leads. And that man was standing something like this thinking. And then I asked him, gentlemen, where do you want to go? If you let me know where you want to go, I can help you out. He said, I want to go nowhere. Please understand. He said, I want to go nowhere. And the interesting thing is, if you don't know to go in life, definitely that means you are not heading anywhere. You are not going anywhere. You will be staying there only where you are. If you know about this writer, Stephen Covey, writer, motivator, if you know about him, you will come to know that his one of the best statement I have ever read is, if the ladder is not lead the right one. If you have, how do we use the ladder? We will be making it stand with a wall. Now, if the ladder is not leaning against right wall, every step that we take just gets us to the wrong place faster. So it's very essential that we must understand, we must know what we want from our life. The moment you come to know that this is what I want to achieve in my life, this is where I want to get ahead in my life, this is where I want to go for my life, this is vision of my life, this is goal of my life, this is target of my life I want to achieve, then only the journey starts. Otherwise, journey is not going to start. Know your strength. If you look at this table that I have just shown, this is very essential for all of us to understand. We need to know our strength. Unless and until we know our strength, I am observing many of the participants over here. Many of the participants over here, we have crossed 30 years, 40 years of age. All those who have crossed 40 years of the age, or those who have crossed 50 years of age, you may come across so many professionals who say, let's write our strength, let's write our weaknesses, let's work on our weaknesses and make them our strength. I'm sorry. I just want to tell you, all those guys who crossed 40 years of life, I must tell you, let's not right now start working on the strength. Let's make our strengths more stronger, because strengths will lead us to a happy and successful life. Of course, weaknesses will be there. We will be working out on weaknesses in between, but let's work on the strengths. So if you know your strength, definitely you can lead where you want to lead for. Definitely you can start traveling towards your target. Definitely you start working towards your vision. Next thing, eliminate the what ifs. You know, the biggest problem with all of us who are grown up is questioning what if it fails, what if it does not work, what if it does not happen. So the more we get indulged, the more we get caught into, we are actually contributing towards failure of doing something. So just eliminate the what ifs. Go ahead, try, go ahead, give your 100% and make sure that you do it. The next thing that we can do all together to nurture the inner capabilities is reduce the burden of being perfect. Being perfect always forces us down. Being perfect makes us procrastinate the things. Being perfect always discourages us from doing the thing in the present moment. Being perfect forces you to the thing in the future. And as we discussed earlier, we as grown-ups, we either get excited about the future, we worry about the past, so we need not have to get caught into this. The more you reduce the burden of being perfect, you'll be more happier. This is one of the very important skill we all need to nurture, and that is speak. Start speaking, my dear friends. Whatever comes to your mind, start speaking with someone who can understand you. Start sharing with someone who can understand your feelings. Start sharing with others. We are all professional. We stand on the dais, we deliver the content, subject content for whom we have been trained in so many years. It's okay. But apart from the professional training that we provide, we all are nurtured. We all are born with an ability to speak. We all are born with an ability to express. So whatever comes to your mind, share your ideas, share your concepts, share your vision, share your goals, share your targets. If not with the others in the society, if not with your friend circle, but at least with your family member. Let them understand what you want to do, what you intend to do, so that they can also contribute to your inner self. Because the person who can understand you the best in the world, the person who can understand you the best in the world Are your family members first, then comes rest of the world. Next thing that we all need to do to nurture our inner capabilities is the one of the purpose of organizing FDA. Next thing that we want to nurture our inner capability is organizing this FDA. Let's understand. When I was first speaking with the Shambhu sir, I asked him, what is the core theme of this faculty development program? When first time I spoke to Shambhu sir, I asked him what is the core theme of this faculty development program. You know, he told me, sir, the purpose of organizing this faculty development program is nurturing the inner self, nurturing, bringing out the best in the professionals, bringing out the best in our faculties. Now, sir, interesting thing is, as I told you earlier, I was very fortunate that I have been given an opportunity. I requested it to Shambhu sir, and I am really thankful to him that he has given me an opportunity to attend all sessions. So what I have listed over here is, since last 5 days, I am the person who has attended all the sessions, and I have listed some of the very beautiful quotes from various speakers. Let's go through all. Let's understand. Sri Mahesh Marshall ji in one of his sessions said, stop yourself from stopping yourself. This is one of the things that we can do to nurture our inner capability. Sir, this is a very important skill one should nurture in him. What is that? Stop yourself from stopping yourself. He was giving an example yesterday also, and in the first day session also, he gave the example of Kevin Carter, the one who has got Pulitzer snapshot of a vulture sitting in front of a ill-fated child. The child is about to die, and he has given the entire story. I am not going into detailing of that story, but yes, he gave us a very wonderful lesson using which we can nurture ourselves, is that stop yourself from stopping yourself. Just observe what is stopping yourself. What is that stopping yourself from stopping yourself? What is that is stopping yourself from doing anything great? Look at all these qualities. Look at all these qualities. Look at all these qualities of a child. You have been born with all these qualities. Now, I want all of you to find out what is that is stopping you from stopping yourself from doing something good, from doing something great, from doing charity, from doing social service. What is that is stopping you from yourself? Another thing that we can do to nurture ourselves, to nurture our inner capabilities is from Sri G.N. Seshadri's session. I like this statement, though he said this statement is from his mentor Dale Carnegie, but the statement is definitely going to change millions of lives. It has already changed millions of lives. What it says, knowing is not doing, doing is doing. Mere knowing how to change my inner capabilities, mere knowing how I nurture my inner capabilities is not going to work. You have to work towards nurturing your inner capabilities. Then only you can make miracles happen in your life. So knowing is not doing, doing is doing. That is the lesson given by G.N. Seshadri. Next, resilience, relaxation through, we learn resilience, relaxation through cleaning process, prayers and meditation. This is what has been taught by Heartful Campus brothers and sisters in all those sessions. How to clean ourselves, how prayers work, how to meditate, all these three things, cleaning yourself, prayers and meditation, they will definitely nurture the inner capabilities of us. Then Professor Subhash Kulkarni lets us understand spirituality and science go hand in hand. And one of the key to better living and leading a successful life is spirituality. That's what Subhash Kulkarni told us. G.N. Seshadri in his another session lets us understand smile and enthusiasm are the most important ingredients of success. And what we have seen in the qualities of a child, Smile is one of the quality of child. Enthusiasm is one of the quality of child. And I still remember Sheshadri told, have the injection of smile, have the injection of enthusiasm and go to the outer world. Next, the most respectful, although each of the presenter was the respectful one, but Professor Narendra gave us a wonderful lesson. A teacher teaches as he has been taught. A teacher teaches as he is taught. That means if I am teaching to some student with less interest, if I am not giving my 100% while in the class, definitely if tomorrow my student becomes a teacher, probably he will teach the way he has been taught. You show patience when you have nothing and attitude when you have everything. At all we have to nurture ourselves. We must have to work on this. We must have to work upon this, because this takes us our life, this piles of our life with so much burden. Again, all these statements are from Professor Narendra Badshashi. With capabilities change, he said, as far as capabilities are concerned, change with passage of time. As the time passes, we keep on nurturing our capabilities. But sometimes it happens that, as we have seen few minutes back, how we have been born and how we have changed ourselves with the passage of time. Then again, Sri Mahesh Mashal was given us a very wonderful statement. Decide and act today. Don't wait for tomorrow to come. Decide and act today. Don't wait for tomorrow to come. So the interesting thing here is, the most important and interesting thing here is this word, today. When you are going to start working on yourself, when you are going to start nurturing your inner capability, when you are going to start working on your inner self, is today, this moment. If you are not going to work it on today, tomorrow is never going to come. Tomorrow is never going to come. So the time to work, so the time to act is right now. So the time to work on your inner self is right now. So now, observe this image. I have shown you the same image earlier also. What difference are you noticing in this image? I have shown you the same image earlier and I am showing you the same image right now. Tell me, you may type your responses in the chat box, what difference you are noticing here in the outer world and inner world. You may type your responses in the chat box. I am awaiting your responses, please. I'm sure what you are noticing is, now your inner world is more brighter than the outer world. Look at the word inner world here. Look at the shape of inner world. It is now started becoming more brighter. And perhaps that was the only, motive of organizing such faculty development program. I believe, this is my perception. Your perception might be different. Organizer's perception might be different, but this is my perception towards this entire faculty development program. Now let me ask you a question. Look at all these qualities once more time. One more time, my dear friends, please look at all these qualities of the child. Decide which one you are going to nourish starting from today. Decide which one you are going to nourish starting from today. Start with one. Nurture that ability to certain extent, then go for second, then go for third, and continue till you lead to a happy life. Please, I request all of you to write down, please give your responses, share your responses. Select one of the qualities that have been mentioned over here that you are going to work upon. Please mention. Keep smiling, fantastic. Okay, Purnima Sinha was replying to my earlier question. Outer world is of the grey shade earlier. Both are good and bad, whereas inner world is pure blue. Fantastic, fantastic. Innocence, Srinivas Deshpande said he will be start to work upon this. Okay, happy without condition. Bharat Shah, thank you, thank you. All the best to you. Being fearless, Aliana said she will be working on being fearless. I really appreciate the responses that you are sending. I really appreciate. Happy without condition, Pooja Patil is saying, because the moment you start, keep trying. Shasalaradhya is saying she will keep trying. Sumalata is saying that she will be more dynamic than before. Rahul is saying being compassionate rather than just be empathically. Fantastic. Mr. P. Ramesh Babu says fearness and tranquility. Wonderful. Shekhar Shinde says happy always. Purnima Sinha says keep trying. Fantastic. Thank you. Thanks a lot of you for your wonderful responses. Trust me, the moment you decide I'm going to work upon this, it is going to happen in the life. Now, before I conclude, Shambhu sir is there? Shambhu sir, Sharan sir, whoever is available, please permit me only for 5 minutes only. I want all of us to read a poem. Okay, fine. I request all of you, this is going to be a very wonderful session. Trust me, this is going to be the most wonderful 5 minutes of entire DP. I request all of you, I'm requesting all of you to put your mic on, and we all are going to read a poem. We all are going to read a poem that I am sharing on the screen. I request all of you to open your mic and let's all read this poem as a message from the inner of myself to all of you. This is a poem, The Guy in the Glass, written by Dale Winbrow in 1934. This poem changed my life by large. Let's all read this poem.
When you get
what you want in your struggle for health, and the world makes you for a day,
Then go to the mirror.
then go to the mirror,
yourself
and see what the guy has to say. Or
Yes.
isn't your father or mother or wife, or isn't your mother or wife, you have upon must pass, who judgment upon you must pass, whose verdict counts most in your life is the guy staring back from the glass. He is the face to please. He is the face
Never mind
to
all the
please.
rest.
Never mind
For
all the rest. For he is with you clear up to end.
most dangerous
Participants, please understand. My dear participants, please understand.
You can fool the whole
You
world
are
around
heavenly proud. Your nears and dears, your
dangerous
friends will leave you for heavenly. But someone who will stay your life
Finally, it was
is one who is inside you, and you have passed your most dangerous difficulties if the guy in the glass is your friend. You can fool the whole world down the pathway of years. You can fool the whole world down the pathway of years and get on the back as you pass. But your final reward will be the heartache and the tears if you are cheated, the guy in the glass. If you are cheated, the guy in the glass. I wish all the best. I wish all the best to every participant who is present in this class today. I wish all the best to all the participants, all the organizers of this FDP. I wish all the committee members of this wonderful FDP all the best. Thanks a lot for this wonderful question and answer session that you have carried, questions that you have raised, feedback you have given, responses that you have given. You have narrated the poem with me because both of us, we are on the same page. That's all from my side. Shambhu sir, it's back to you.
Thank you, sir. Again, once again, I thank for accepting our invitation and being a part of the this 1 week FDP. You have given us, 2 sessions, and even the feedback from participants are also pouring in. So there are so many things are coming up in the chat box. Thank you, wonderful session, and thanks for ultimate wonderful ending session. The session was
Thank you.
really
Thanks a lot,
good,
sir.
and all sorts of things. If participants have got any questions, please put it in the chat box so that I can just pick the question and ask sir.
Yes,
We
yes,
have 5 minutes
sure,
to
for
go.
sure.
Please go ahead. We have 5 minutes to go. So someone is asking, sir, a link of full poem. So if you can share it, and I will also put it on the WhatsApp, sir.
Okay, no problem. I will share.
Yes, we will share it.
Okay,
Not an issue.
someone shared it. Dr. Jyoti NM. Dr. Jyoti, thanks a lot. Thank you very much for sharing the poem. It has been shared, sir, in the link. Fantastic. Thank you. It has been shared in the chat box.
Okay, it's already there. Okay, sir.
This shows Mr. Jyoti started working. This is the generosity that a child carries. Dr. Jyoti, thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
So any questions, please. I also request, the participants, sir. I also request, Purohit sir also to join us for the last and valedictory session, and that is going to commence from 2:30 onwards, sir. Please do join us.
Definitely. Yes,
For
definitely I'll be there, sir, in valedictory session.
yes, sir.
Thank you.
And I also
Thanks a lot.
request all the participants to join the valedictory session, and also just go to the immediately after this session, even after the completion of your valedictory session, just go to the Atal website, give the feedback that is already activated in your portal. So please go ahead and give the honest and candid feedback. So unless you give the feedback, you'll not be able to get the certificate. So you're done, you've come to this stage. So please take, it's it hardly takes around 5 to 8 minutes of your time. So just go to the website and give your feedback. And so someone is asking, test, so I will send the test link, by evening today. Today evening, I'll just send the link. So you can just open the Google form and give your answers. So before that, please finish up the feedback form. Otherwise, in many cases they have just forgotten to give the feedback. So that shouldn't happen. First, give the feedback. In any case, the test link will be sent. Don't worry about that one. Sir, is the test is time bound? No, madam. So the test is will be open for 3-4 hours, because I understand all the faculties will be in one or other activity. So let them take their own sweet time and give the honest answers. So it's not time bound. But I request all the participants to complete the entire process by today evening or night also. So first thing is that giving a feedback, then taking the test. Don't worry about that one. Sir, there is a question.
Yes, sir. If it is for me, I am there.
Yes, sir. How to balance inner and outer consciousness?
That's true. See, inner, if you look at the entire process, though our thoughts are from inside, though our emotions are from inside, though our feelings are from inside, but many a times they are driven by the outer world. Someone comes to you and he criticizes you. Now what happens? Someone criticizes you, makes so many chemical changes inside you. So ultimately, sometimes we get driven by the situation. The regular meditations, regular practice of meditation, regular practice of awareness at the mind level will definitely strive you through those circumstances. I think you have got my answer, what I want to say.
I think, sir, they are done with the whole thing. Any other questions from the participant side? Sir, according to you, any of the participants are not asking any questions, and I will only ask what are the key takeaways as far as a resource person for you as concerned, sir? As a resource person, what are the key takeaways from this FDP?
Oh, from this FDP, I have learned so many things. the beautiful thing that I have learned is the way you have organized it. You have got, like, if you remember, we were speaking on the earlier week before this FDP. You told me the intention of organizing this FDP is something like bringing the inner change. Okay, we all are tied together with that one particular essence. None of the sessions that we have conducted have gone beyond that particular frame. So all the sessions, all the speakers, I must admit that there were wonderful speakers. Okay, none of the speakers were something like I must leave the session in between. Perhaps I was the only person. I don't know. There will be definitely so many others who have attended all the sessions, but I was one such resource person who have attended all the sessions, because the curiosity of me has, and the seed of that curiosity goes to you, because the way you have brought up all the subjects, the way you have designed all the subjects, that made me stick to all the sessions. I believe there are few other faculties also who have continued to all the sessions, but the takeaway from these 5 days, 15 sessions,
14
5 3 are 15, 13 sessions, including mine, 14 sessions. So the takeaway from 14 session is, when we keep on trying good for others, definitely good comes back to us. If I would stick myself to only my 2 sessions, probably I may not have able to learn what others have to say. So as a resource, even though you have invited me as a resource person, I must be open enough, I must be flexible enough to attend other sessions, what they are trying to give, what they are trying to say. Because unless and until I learn what others have to say, how I can convince others what I have to say? So perhaps that is one of my takeaway from all these sessions. I sincerely thank you from bottom of my heart for giving me that opportunity to attend all the sessions.
Thank you, sir. Sir, we have one more question coming up from our one of our regular participant, Miss Dalimi Veri. Whenever
Okay.
you behave as per your inner self, some people tend to judge you. Why?
Yes. Now tell me. Oh, just hold on. Let me. You were there in my earlier presentation, Dalimi, by any chance? You may open up your mic and you can speak.
Yeah, no, sir. I think she was there, sir. She was there. She sent a message.
Okay. If she was there in my earlier presentation, Dalimi has to understand one screen. Let me share you, because the presentation is with me only. This will answer. I need not have to answer her further. Now let's observe if Dalimi you can understand. Let me share my screen. This is present window. Dalimi and others, can you see the screen?
Yes, sir, I can see the screen.
Now tell me what you are responsible for. What is in your control?
Under me, my controls will be my thoughts and my actions and my behaviors, my choices.
Yes.
Will be under control.
100% correct. This is what is in your control. The central one. This one is in your control.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now, when you try to be with your inner capabilities, when you try to be like a child, being like a child necessarily need not mean being childish. There is difference between childish, that is behaving like a child, and being like a child is acting like a child. Have the natural abilities of a child. So if you are like a child, if you are living in the present moment, if you are joyful, now tell me who can steal your joy? What is going to happen in this scenario? What is going to happen in this scenario is other people's choices, other people's actions, other people's reactions, other people's criticism, other people's thoughts, other people's perception, all going to come your way. Now, but if you are aware, if you are aware that this is where my integrity is, this is where I need to focus, this is where I need to work upon. Look at our society, you will find so many people. Look at the journey of our Prime Minister, from a tea vendor to a Prime Minister. How he would have been passed to all the different phases of his life. What might be the struggle? What made him reach to the highest possibility of his lifetime? And that is just because he focused on two things that he can control. Now, once he got the super specialty here, once he established himself here, then he started working out onto the area, the circle where he can influence other. I am typing using my mouse, so please forgive me for the bad handwriting. But this is where he started influencing others. And this area, trust me, this area is such area which you and influence the world peace. They can influence rate of war. They can influence so many other things. I don't want to get into some of the things like death and where you born and traffic. Definitely, they are also not going to impact those things. But yes, now what happens when you are living with your inner qualities, when you are very comfortable with inner qualities, don't bother about what others want to say, because that is their perception. You look at your own perception. When your perception, where your intentions are good, whenever a child does something, he does it with some good intentions. So whenever your intentions are good, only good will come back to you. Their perceptions. There is a statement that says, there is a sentence that says, there is a famous song also that we all who have attended these sessions, we know the beauty lies in here. The beauty is lying in here. The beauty is lying in here, where my inner core is. I can control my thoughts. I can control my action. I can control my joy. I can control my word. I can control my happiness, my behavior, decision, choices, restrictions, attitude, mindset, mood. What happens? Because the neighbor is saying and telling you, you did not have to behave something like that, then we stop behaving something like that. What happens? We have molded according to him or according to her, but not according to us. Now ultimately what is going to happen? We are going to damage our inner self. We are not going to nurture inner self, we are going to damage our inner self. Be what you are. The moment you become what you are, people will start perceiving the real what you are. And trust me, happiness lies in you. Happiness is within you. Peace is within you. That's what all spiritual practices tells us. The happiness lies within us. The God lies within us. The peace lies within us. And we start finding it outside. We start finding out in the things. We start finding it on the people. We start finding it out in the situation. If this happens in my life, I will be happy. If I will be happy. If this comes to my life, I will be happy. If these people get friend of mine, I will be happy. That is not the case. The case is happiness lies within. So the entire world, the entire journey of spiritualism starts with Koham, who am I? And it ends up with Soham, I am the one supreme. Supreme is within me. So that's how. Focus on to yourself. Don't bother about what others are saying. I hope I have rightly addressed your query. Thank you. Thank you for asking such a wonderful question.
Yes, sir, you have addressed my question. Actually, what you said was very true. I'm a very joyous person. So whenever I meet someone, I behave very joyfully with them. So every time they ask me the question, don't anything bother you? Are you not bothered by anything? So that's why I was feeling a little bit weird about that one.
Don't bother. Don't feel weird. Okay, go. you know, the moment you get doing the same thing, maintaining your, it's not boldness. What the word you used?
Pardon, sir? I didn't get you.
What the word that you used when you asked the question?
I use the word I find it very weird that they are judging me based on my joyfulness, nature, and all that one.
Yes, that's true. See, when people judge, that is in not your control. How they judge is also not in your control. What is their judgment they may pass upon is also not in your control. What is your control is your own perception about yourself. That's why we all read that poem. Na? What the guy in the glass has to say. When you look at mirror, what the girl in the mirror has to say, just think about it. If the girl in the mirror says you are doing it right, you are doing it correct, you are doing it on the track, don't worry about the world. Be joyful, be joyous.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, good day. Thanks a lot, sir. See you in the next session.
I request all the participants to join us again at 2:30 p.m. for the last and valedictory session. Thank you, one and all.